I think that there are not enough meaningful events and milestones later in life, or even midway to later in life. Most of it is front loaded. You have when you're born, your first birthday, you learn to crawl, you learn to walk, you learn to talk, you get potty trained. Your first day at school, you learn to read, you learn to write, you go through puberty, you have your first kiss, you have the first time you have sex, you get your driver's license, this is only for some people, and I don't know how much of a big deal it is anymore, but your sweet 16 birthday, for some people, that's a big deal. Your first job, you buy your first car, you get accepted into a university, you graduate high school, you turn 18, which is like your adult learner's permit. You're not a full adult, you just have the adult learner's permit. You have your first day at university, you turn 21, which is like the full adult license. Now you can buy alcohol and do other stuff, at least in the United States. You graduate university, you get married if you choose to, you have your first baby if you choose to, you buy a house, which can happen at different ages. A lot of this stuff can happen at different ages, but this is just the narrative that was pushed on me growing up. Then you have retirement and death. This is not accurate for a lot of people, and it's not a comprehensive list, but as I said, this is pushing the narrative that was prevalent for me growing up, which is that I'll be on track for a career in my early 20s, meet someone nice, fall in love, get married, have kids, buy a house, and all of this occurs before or not long after I turn 30. There was a lot of, you better achieve what you want by the time you turn 30, because after 30 it gets worse, it goes downhill. And it seems to me that people older than me, in their 40s and older, casually and persistently I'm doing air quotes, joke, about how time will go by so fast you don't even know. Your whole body's gonna hurt for unknown reasons. You wake up, oh, my head hurts, my feet hurts, my back hurts, oh, everything hurts. And they're kind of joking, but it seems like they're kind of not joking. I don't know. And saying stuff like, oh, you think you're young now, but pretty soon you're gonna be old and you're gonna be sad like me. There's too many put downs being done by older people who probably have regrets and nostalgic feelings and feelings of loss about things that they didn't do, and all of that is being said to young people and just making them kind of feel like garbage. By the time you reach 30, from the traditional American viewpoint, you have achieved most of the milestones that you'll ever achieve. 30 to 40 years old. What is there? You can run for Congress when you're 30. I forgot you can run for the House of Representatives when you're 25. So that's another milestone, potentially. You can run for president at 35. You probably won't win. I think Kennedy was the youngest president. He was 47 or something like that. I don't remember. But imagine if you become president at 35. That's probably one of the most impactful and important events in your life besides being born and dying. So I would say from 30 to retirement age, about 65 or so. What? What is there? Maybe you've lived a life that doesn't require a car, and you buy your first car at 48. Buy a house later. Get married later, maybe. You can certainly push some of those milestones back, but you only turn 18 once. And personally, I'm not going to turn 50 and say, ooh, it's the big 5-0. I don't care about that. Maybe 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, whatever. Those, round numbers, or those, you know what I mean. Those birthdays are more impactful than when you turn, 43 or something. But that doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I'm not going to go, ooh, 40. Big deal. Like, that's whatever. You could take a once-in-a-lifetime trip somewhere. Okay, that can be a big deal. If you're able, though, you can take a vacation and actually go somewhere every few years, or maybe every year. So, a once-in-a-lifetime trip, maybe you only get one chance to go somewhere, but I don't know, the world seems a lot more connected now than it ever has been, so it's easier to get to places. It's just a matter of, do you have the time and do you have the money, which a lot of people are lacking in both of those things, myself included. I have not gone on a vacation anywhere in 9 years, so that's not working too well for me, but maybe it's working better for you. I'm struggling to find anything important that happens. Maybe you go skydiving for the first time when you're 37. Maybe you learn to sing when you're 34. You learn to snowboard when you're 53. Those are all firsts. Those are all, varying degrees of importance. I wouldn't say that learning how to sing is more important than learning how to take a dump on the toilet. I mean, I don't know. But you have to come up with your own stuff. There aren't these predetermined milestones that you're gonna hit. You're gonna hit puberty. You're gonna hit 18. You're gonna graduate high school. Hopefully you're gonna graduate high school. You just have to come up with new stuff. From 30 to retirement is barren. And I hear this all the time from older people who talk about 10, 20, 30 years going by so fast. Doing air quotes again, so fast. I don't believe it. I didn't believe it 10 years ago. I don't believe it now. I feel like people get so caught up in their daily routines because they lack meaningful milestones and arcs in their lives that they talk about time going by so fast because they aren't doing much. They look back at the past 20 years, and when you break it down, they've had 4-ish types of days, maybe a little bit more than that. Follow me here. Monday through Friday, you're doing your 9 to 5 thing, right? Saturdays are different because you're hopefully not working. Sundays might be a bit different than Saturdays, and certainly, hopefully, you're not working again. And then you have like the fourth kind of days where you have like a weird day at work where something happens, it's unusual. Your work routine is disrupted because you have to adjust to something weird going on, or you have a weird weekend. Maybe there are more types of days. Maybe you have vacation days, sick days when you're, sick days when you're not actually sick, and you're actually out and about doing things on days and at times you wouldn't normally be. I had vacation time about a month ago. I was at the movies on a Tuesday afternoon, which is unusual for me because I'm usually at work. I will say, I as a side note, I didn't do this with that time off, but I might be able to get some time off in September. I'd like to just walk around the mall just in the middle of the day. Just like on a Wednesday. Just walk around, maybe buy things, but I mean, maybe this is gonna be a topic for a different video. Yeah, this can be a topic for a different video. But I haven't had extensive time off in quite a while, in years, and it's nice to have that. But anyway, when you can condense 20 years, which is 7,300 days, into like 5 types of days, and then rinse and repeat that for 20 years, yeah, I can kind of understand why 20 years feels like it's gone by so fast. Because you didn't have many or any notable events, milestones. First, it's just rinse and repeat what you've been doing. Now, all of this is to say 2 things, okay? Here's my point, I guess, other than wanting to just talk about this, what I think about it, how I think about this. 2 things. First thing, I have never experienced years going by without me noticing. Right? I have never said to myself or anyone else, let's say it's May right now. It's early May. I'm not sitting here thinking back to May from a year ago and going, huh, wow, the time went by so fast. I've never felt that way. I've never thought about it that way. Time for me goes by slowly. And maybe you want that for yourself. Maybe the way you experience time is that it goes fast all the time. For me, sometimes it can go fast. If I'm busy, I have a busy day, I'm doing a bunch of stuff, it can go by quickly. But for the most part, time goes by slowly for me. I just always hope that my work days, my time at work, go by slowly. And then when I get home after work, time can go by slow again, because I want to take in the time away from work as much as possible. Anyway, I don't let time slip by me. And no, it does not, in fact, feel like just yesterday. There's the air quotes again. I'm doing it again. Just yesterday that I was in high school getting up to go to chemistry class. It was not just yesterday. It was 13 years ago. A lot has happened. A lot has changed. It was a different time in my life. I was in a different headspace. I had different priorities. Everything was different. High school, that was a whole era by itself. College, new thing. I had a gap here after I finished the bachelor's degree. I looked for work, wasn't getting anything. Then I went to graduate school. That was a different thing. And then we have it's kind of mushed together a little bit in terms of personal things that have gone on with me, things that I've thought about. But pandemic, post-pandemic. And pandemic has been like 3 years. And now we're like starting to get into post-pandemic. Realizations about my identity, like maybe being transgender. YouTube, trying Twitch, learning new skills, and the desire to pivot into a different career path because the path that I'm on currently sucks. That's a lot of stuff that's gone on over 13 years. Not to mention the variety in college. Every semester was an entirely new set of classes, learning new things, meeting new people, new schedule. Those years doing the bachelor's degree felt long because it wasn't the same all the way through. It was different. Well, some days were kind of samey, but a lot of days were different. Semesters were different. Months of time, chunks of months of time were different. And secondly, second thing I want to say. There are not enough milestones for people later in life, which can lead to life feeling kind of boring after a certain point. Because you wake up every day and you go, oh, what am I going to do today? Oh, well, of course, I'm going to go to work. And then I'm going to come home. And maybe you're like me and you're trying to move in different directions, get a better career or something like that going. So you come home and you got to work on that. Or maybe you're set in what you're doing. You come home, you play a game, you read a book, you watch something on any of the million and plus one streaming services. You go out with friends or whatever like that, but you're doing the same kind of things over and over again, right? And you're not mixing it up enough, right? And the important life events get crunched into your first 18, 21 years on Earth, maybe up to 30 or something like that. Learning to walk, first day of school, first kiss, graduating high school. So much happened in those years, and after that, if you let it, life flattens out. And that sucks. Stop and think about things. Plan to do things with your life. Have different arcs in your life. Find milestones. Don't look back on your life and be able to say most days were basically the same. That's a waste. Be like be like Ferris Bueller in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Keep that in mind. You gotta stop sometimes and smell the roses, or life will just pass you by. I'm paraphrasing, of course. That's my spiel.